Hello and welcome to the Intermittent Fasting Gems with Jen podcast. I'm your host, Jen, a middle-aged Michigan mama, wife, and teacher who in 2021 stumbled upon this crazy cool thing called intermittent fasting. And before I knew it, I'd lost 46 pounds in 4 months and gained an incredible lifestyle filled with complete food freedom. If you're hungry for unique, no-nonsense fasting tips that actually work, you're in the right place. So whether you're walking the dog, folding that last load of laundry, or cruising to your 9 to 5, let's start fasting our way to freedom together. Hey there, fasting friends. Are you struggling with being hungry or even worse, feeling hangry during your intermittent fasting journey? If so, this episode is for you. Today, I'm going to share 10 surefire ways to say goodbye to those tummy grumbles so that you can stop feeling hungry and instead get your fast on with complete comfort and ease. All right, who are we kidding? Feeling hungry totally stinks, and it's also one of the biggest reasons why calorie restriction and other traditional fad diets often end up failing. A diet that makes you feel hungry all the time is really, really hard to stick to long term. And the same thing goes with intermittent fasting. If you are constantly feeling discomfort due to hunger, you're going to want to quit before you really start experiencing the full awesomeness of living an intermittent fasting lifestyle. So here we go. Tip number 1, stay hydrated. I know, it seems like a very basic no-brainer, but you would be surprised how many people do not drink enough liquid, especially during their fasting hours. First of all, adequate hydration is not only a must-do when it comes to ensuring your overall good health, but it can really help a ton with managing hunger and food cravings. Drinking plenty of water not only fills the stomach, creating a sense of fullness, but it also helps dull the appetite by satisfying the body's need for liquids because quite often feelings of thirst can easily be mistaken for hunger, leading to unnecessary eating. And this is a big one. When you are dehydrated, your body can actually send those hunger signals, even if you're not actually low on calories. So even if you're just a little dehydrated, you might feel hungrier than you actually are. So you can stay hydrated in plenty of healthy ways. It absolutely doesn't always have to be plain old, sometimes kind of boring water. You can drink black coffee and green or black tea. These are also great choices because not only do they help keep you hydrated, but they also provide so many incredible health benefits. And the caffeine in both black coffee and green tea can help suppress the appetite. And studies have even shown that they may offer a fairly significant metabolic advantage. Black coffee, herbal tea, and water are all clean intermittent fasting drinks, which means you can drink as much of them as you want during your fasting hours, and they absolutely will not break your fast. Now, if you listen to episode number 7 of this podcast, I shared the 4 best clean intermittent fasting drinks. I've given you 3 hydrating clean drinks so far, including plain water, black coffee, and herbal tea. The 4th clean drink is, of course, my absolute favorite, which is plain sparkling mineral water. That's all I'm going to say about it for now because I love this stuff so much that I've actually given sparkling mineral water its very own tip number, which we will cover a little bit later as we move on down the list. And I actually have a pretty specific daily hydration routine that includes black coffee, water, sparkling water, and green tea. It has worked awesome for me for almost 4 years now since I started fasting in January of 2021. And I will leave the link to that resource in the show notes for you below. All right, tip number 2, electrolyte up your life. I have mentioned this before, and I will say it again. Incorporating an electrolyte supplement like Element into your fasting routine can significantly aid in curbing hunger during intermittent fasting. It absolutely, positively works. Electrolytes play such an important role in maintaining fluid balance, nerve function, and muscle contractions within the body. When we fast, especially for extended periods, electrolyte balances can really fluctuate. And this can lead to feelings of fatigue, low blood sugar, weakness, and increased hunger for sure. My absolute favorite electrolyte by far is Element, LMNT. I am not sponsored by them. I just love, love, love the way it makes me feel. It's the perfect blend of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. It absolutely supports hydration, and it helps regulate energy levels and hunger signals. When you replenish with essential electrolytes, fasting becomes more sustainable and manageable. And as a result, it helps us focus on our fasting goals without being sidetracked by excessive hunger. Again, I'll leave the link to my blog post that explains why Element is so stinking awesome in the show notes in case you want to check it out. Tip number 3. Another really effective strategy against hunger, making sure that you are getting enough quality protein during your eating window is huge. Protein-rich foods provide a dual advantage because first, they promote prolonged feelings of fullness, and second, they support muscle preservation. When protein is consumed during your eating window, protein triggers the release of hormones that signal satiety, and this really helps to reduce cravings and the urge to snack. Also, protein's slow digestion rate helps to sustain energy levels, and it also minimizes fluctuations in blood sugar levels, which often contribute to hunger spikes. Great protein sources include lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, and plant-based proteins. Complete protein foods are incredible too. So a complete protein food refers to a food source that contains all 9 essential amino acids that the body cannot produce on its own. Complete protein foods contain all the amino acids our bodies need to build and repair muscles. So if you are curious about what those 9 incredible complete protein food sources are, I have a blog post on that. I will leave the link to that blog post in the show notes below. Additionally, if you enjoy getting your protein from a quality protein powder, I also have a blog post, 10 best protein powder recipes for weight loss. I'll leave that link in the notes below as well. All right, let's move on to number 4 on the list. Fill up with fiber. Incorporating fiber-rich foods into your diet is a very powerful strategy for fighting hunger during intermittent fasting. Fiber is like a sponge in your digestive system, which is pretty cool. As fiber absorbs water in the digestive system, it also expands and it contributes to a sense of satisfaction in the stomach. Eating plenty of fiber found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes promotes satiety and it manages appetite. Fiber has bulk and it has a pretty slow digestion rate, which really does help create that lasting feeling of fullness. It helps to control overeating and unnecessary snacking too. High fiber foods like veggies tend to have a low caloric density, which allows us to consume a larger volume of fibrous foods without that excessive calorie intake. By prioritizing fiber-rich choices, people living an intermittent fasting lifestyle can maintain a more controlled and comfortable fasting experience while effectively managing hunger throughout their fasting hours. And if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, stick to the fruits and veggies that are packed with the most fiber. 4 of the best fiber-filled fruits are avocados, raspberries, blackberries, and pears. And 4 of the absolute best fiber-filled veggies are artichokes, green peas, Brussels sprouts, and yummy broccoli. Number 5, eat like a sloth. If you are hungry during intermittent fasting, you really should try practicing mindful eating. by slowing down, savoring your food, and really thoroughly chewing each bite. This can be such a great way to combat real hunger during your fasting window. When you take the time to engage your senses and really appreciate the flavors and the textures of your meal, you actually allow your body to send signals of fullness more effectively. Chewing slowly also aids in the breakdown of food, making it easier for your body to extract those nutrients and energy from each mouthful. And this approach not only enhances the digestive process, but it also extends the duration of your meal. And that will actually give your brain enough time to register the feeling of fullness and satisfaction. All right, tip number 6, do not fear fat. Healthy fats like fatty fish, avocados, Greek yogurt, and coconut oil are an absolute must-have in your diet. I have mentioned this tip in previous podcast episodes, and that's because it is simply a tip that you really cannot skip if you are truly serious about experiencing real success with intermittent fasting. Healthy fats provide a concentrated source of energy that offers a sustained feeling of fullness. These fats also play a crucial role in supporting hormonal balance, including those that regulate the appetite and satiety signals. So consuming these fats, especially toward the very end of your eating window, does some pretty incredible stuff. It helps stabilize your blood sugar and ramp up your energy levels. It slows down digestion, helping to extend the period of satisfaction and reduce the likelihood of hunger pangs between fasting periods, which means they allow you to remain full for longer into your next fast. And this, my fasting friends, is a very beautiful thing because being able to fast easier without feeling hunger means you can fast longer, which means you can ultimately lose more weight and feel super awesome while you are doing it. I have a blog post titled How to Lose Weight with Healthy Fats, 10 Best Foods, which this post also includes my window closing coconut fat bomb recipe. I will leave the link for you below. Moving on to tip number 7, be a busy bee. Staying busy and engaged in activities during intermittent fasting can really be an awesome way to curb hunger. When you're occupied with tasks, whether it's work, hobbies, or exercise, your mind is diverted from thoughts of food and you're less likely to focus on hunger sensations. This distraction technique really does help break the cycle of cravings, and it gives your body time to adjust to the fasting state. Plus, keeping yourself busy while in the fasted state can boost your mood and energy levels, and this indirectly contributes to reduced feelings of hunger. By taking part in productive activities, you can create a positive environment that supports your fasting goals. This should make it easier to navigate fasting periods without succumbing to unnecessary snacking or overeating. Number 8, here's a big tip that quite often gets overlooked and very sorely neglected. Get your Z's. You really, 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 really have to prioritize sleep. Getting enough sleep is 100% connected to weight loss success, as well as curbing hunger during intermittent fasting. Not getting enough sleep can make you feel hungrier because it affects hormones that control your appetite. When you're tired, your body produces more ghrelin, and ghrelin is often referred to as the hunger hormone because it does just that. It triggers hunger, which then makes you want to eat more. This can very easily lead to cravings for unhealthy foods, making it harder to control what you eat. So by ensuring that you get enough quality sleep, you create a foundation for better appetite control and, in turn, a more successful fasting journey. Improved sleep patterns also contribute to overall well-being. This helps manage stress and maintain a consistent fasting routine without the added challenge of annoying hunger pangs and distracting sensations. Number 9. All right, this tip can be very helpful, and that is to adjust your fasting schedule or routine. So, adapting and customizing your fasting schedule and method can be a very powerful hunger stopping strategy. It's really important to recognize that every body is different and that everyone's body responds differently to fasting. And finding the best fasting method that suits your individual needs is crucial. Experimenting with different variations in your eating pattern can help you discover a schedule that aligns better with your own personal natural hunger cues. Additionally, trying different methods like the 16-8, 18-6, 24, warrior diet, OMAD, 2MAD, or alternate day fasting methods allows you to determine which pattern keeps you more satisfied and minimizes hunger. So, flexibility in adjusting your fasting approach, it empowers you to tailor your fasting experience to reduce discomfort and maintain a steadier energy level. You might find it helpful to go back and listen to episode number 4 of this podcast. In that episode, I explore 7 of the most popular intermittent fasting methods, as well as the pros and cons of each, helping you try to find the best one or two that works best for you. Finally, we made it to number 10 on the list. And as I mentioned before, I believe I saved the very best for last. I'm going to shout this from the rooftops. Start drinking sparkling mineral water. I think that this trick or tip or strategy, whatever you want to call it, is so good that it just might be the only thing you need to focus on to cure your hunger during intermittent fasting. And that is because adding sparkling water to your day can truly be a total game changer. I know that once I began drinking plain sparkling mineral water, intermittent fasting truly became an absolute breeze. The bubbles and the carbonation, it does like a magic trick in your stomach. I constantly hear from people in my fasting Facebook group that rave about how sparkling water was the main trick that has helped them fight against hunger while fasting. So this carbonated drink provides hydration without any calories or additives. So it's a smart choice for clean fasting, as long as it's plain and not flavored. And it's fine to drink the flavored stuff because it really is yummy, but just save it for your eating window so it does not disrupt your fast. Sparkling mineral water totally helps with appetite control. I drink between 12 and 24 or sometimes even 36 ounces of sparkling water every single day. And if I'm having an off day where I'm feeling a bit hungrier than usual during my fasting window, my first strategy, my go-to to fight hunger is to drink 8 to 12 ounces of sparkling mineral water over the next 20 to 30 minutes. It almost always works to knock out my hunger pains so I can continue fasting with ease. Plus, the natural minerals found in sparkling water, such as magnesium and calcium, can contribute to improving your overall health. So, all right, there you have it. If you are struggling with extreme hunger during intermittent fasting, incorporating one or more of these strategies really can be a game changer for your intermittent fasting plan. All right, let's quickly recap. If you start to feel hungry during your fasting window, remember to, number 1, stay hydrated with plenty of water, coffee, and herbal tea. Number 2, consider using an electrolyte supplement like Element. Number 3, prioritize protein. Number 4, fill up with plenty of fiber. Number 5, practice mindful eating by savoring your food, eating slowly and thoroughly chewing each bite. Number 6, fill the end of your eating window with healthy fats. Number 7, keep yourself plenty busy and distracted with fun activities. Number 8, be sure to get enough sleep each night. Number 9, adjust your fasting schedule or routine until you find what works for you. And finally, number 10, go to the grocery store right now and stock up on sparkling mineral water. Do you have an awesome hunger-busting intermittent fasting trick or tip? I'd love to hear all about it. Okie dokie, you are not going to want to miss the next episode of the Intermittent Fasting Gems with Jen. In this episode, I'll be tackling the topic of alcohol and intermittent fasting and how to make it work for you. Plus, I'll be recapping all of the awesome intermittent fasting tips that Danielle, our October success story guest, shared with us in episode 13. I hope you have the absolute best day ever. Hey, thank you so much for choosing to spend part of your day listening to this episode of the Intermittent Fasting Gems with Jen podcast. If you think these tips could help a friend or a family member, please consider sharing this episode with them. And if you really enjoyed the show, taking a minute or two to leave a positive review would be so appreciated. Tune in for new 15 to 25-minute episodes released on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of each month. Episodes will feature solo shows filled with IF hacks that have worked for me, as well as episodes where I get to chat with fun folks of all ages who've experienced incredible success with intermittent fasting. If you have questions or want more unique intermittent fasting health and weight loss tips, tricks, and recipes, please visit my website and blog at sowhatifwithjen.com. Finally, we'd love to welcome you into our free intermittent fasting Facebook support group, So What If with Jen. Find all of these links in the show notes below. And as always, I hope you spend your day loving without fear and laughing until your cheeks hurt.